This is a 4x4 air seals video as a follow-up from the previous 3 videos with regard to fitting our Hitachi exhaust valve seal kit on air suspension compressors for a Land Rover Discovery 3 for Range Rover Sport years 2004 to 2011/12. Now the previous videos have shown you how to remove the exhaust valve, fit the new seals and fit the exhaust valve back in to the compressor. If you've purchased one of our exhaust valve C1A13 repair kits, which also include air dryer filtration kit, which is recommended to obviously to try and solve a C1A13 diagnostic trouble code, you need to fit the filtration, follow the video instructions for the exhaust valve seals, and the last task I would like to bring to your attention is to check the exhaust valve solenoid. Basically there are 2 sort of types of compressor, Dunlop and Hitachi, and the difference between the 2 is these screws are threaded M4 on the Dunlop, and on the Hitachi they are self-tappers which can be quite seized, but this particular type tend to undo quite easily. So you basically get your Torx bit and you remove the 2 screws. Now once you remove the second screw, just remove the exhaust valve solenoid itself very slowly. And as you can see, the large O-ring seems to stay in place. There's an O-ring on this particular boss diameter, and inside there's a tiny O-ring and a felt pad. So my recommendation just to service this is to leave these O-rings in situ, particularly this one, because if you remove it, it tends to grow in size and then can be quite difficult. What I tend to do is I use a scriber and remove the little O-ring, and before I lose that, I place that back on the end. The O-rings are generally in good condition. They just, I usually just put a smear of silicone grease around this one, only a slight smear, just to refit. The main thing is to remove this felt pad inside, like so. Be careful not to lose it. And if you get some thinners in a bowl and soak this in thinners, and being careful to blow it out with an air line just to remove any residual dust, but generally you can reuse these. The main thing is to get an air line and clean out the dust from this area and in the centre, being careful not to blow the O-ring out. So if you remove the dust from this chamber, that will help the exhaust valve behind this square plate to function correctly. So dust is your enemy basically, so we don't want any dust in there, and we're trying to keep the O-ring in situ. Basically once you have cleaned out the housing, you can sort of tilt it backwards. As you can see, this is the top part of the original compressor. It's just for demonstration purposes, but when you be careful to fit the felt pad back into its seat place just by using the scriber. Once you have cleaned it in thinners, and that just seats there correctly, then if you get some silicone grease and just put a smear around the little O-ring which you've fitted back round, that's fine. Before you fit this solenoid, you can actually just blow out the centre very carefully and around the outsides of the solenoid, just any slight dust residue it will remove, Once you have cleaned out the dust and you have fitted the felt pad back in, you then basically refit the solenoid itself. Now this solenoid, basically it just works off 12 volts, so obviously this will be part of your wiring harness, but You can't really test it. It's sort of either works or it doesn't work. And if you put 12 volts across these either way, you'll just feel a pulse inside. There's no major moving parts, but that's as much as you can do. It basically allows a little extra pressure into this chamber to move the exhaust valve open when it's given a signal to do so. So fitting it back on, you just basically locate it and it basically just goes into situ like that, and then you refit the two torque screws. And basically that's it. So to solve a C1A13 diagnostic trouble code, you need to fit new exhaust valve seals, which we can supply from our website or our eBay shop, and also fit our filtration air dryer kit. As well as fitting those two, we recommend servicing the exhaust solenoid. We do have spare parts. We do have spare parts occasionally, so if your exhaust valve isn't working, which is a pretty rare occurrence, then you can always give us a ring and then we can maybe supply you a good used one. But generally it just requires dust removal, and that usually gets the job going. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, please like, tag, share, and check out our other Hitachi Land Rover compressor repair videos. Thank you.